We are, the whole world is looking for direction right now. The world, humanity is looking for guidance to navigate through the craziness of everything. Some people are looking to, horoscope articles written by who knows who. Other people are looking to CNN for guidance in life. Other people are looking in the newspapers. Other people are looking, maybe novels. Who knows? Maybe Netflix. Who's going to guide us? And we've had direction for thousands of years, and it's called the Torah. It's always important just to frame that there's nothing that's being invented here. We were given a Torah at Mount Sinai 3,500 years ago. The infinite God gave over a national revelation to the nation of Israel, and we accepted the Torah, and 3 million people accepted it, and the authenticity of that acceptance is such that how do you start a lie with that many people? We told the story yesterday that there was a Rebbe. He was a great sage, and he was the head of this dynasty, and he passed away, and he had 8 sons, and he didn't reveal in his lifetime who the successor would be. So one of the sons, the night after the death of their father, wakes up and says, "Gather all of the students together, I have something to announce." And all the thousands and thousands of students gathered together, and the Ben said, "Mein Tate kimst in a chaloim." My father came to me, how do you say it? Mein Tate gekimmen in a chaloim. Chaloim. My Tate Mamish came to me, my father came to me in a dream. My father said to me that I am going to be the successor. So now all the thousands of Hasidim, what do you think they did? Did they accept it? What do you say, Nisim? No, why not? He had a dream.
But did he? I don't know. We don't know. Because it's not always that the oldest...
Such a Jewish mind. Who said he had a dream? Maybe he's making it up. Maybe could it have happened? I want to bring a proof that likely it did not happen. In fact, it's probably a proof that it did not happen. Why? Because if my father would come to you in a dream, and if our father wanted to pass on an authentic message, what would be the means to pass on that message that we would all trust the authenticity of the message?
You would do someone else.
It would specifically be to come to not you, to come to all of us. And let all of us know that you're the successor. By fact that was not how the message went, that your claim is that it only came to you, it's sure that that's not the truth of the message. Because if the truth, the authenticity of the message that you're supposed to be it, then the means of conveying it is very, very weak. But what if the means of conveying it is that the Father comes to all of us and says who it is? Is that a strong? That's very, very powerful. When God spoke to us at Mount Sinai, He came to every single one of us. This is also an additional important point. He also came to Moses separately, but we all saw as a nation that Moses got a prophecy. Meaning, not only did we receive a national revelation at Mount Sinai, it's very important in the depths of our belief, we had a national revelation that the only true prophet whose word stands in the end and can never be uprooted is Moses. Because we all had national revelation of his prophecy. We saw that God gave a special prophecy to Moshe. So anyone who comes and says, oh, the prophecy of Moshe, God changed his mind. No, he didn't. We all, as a national revelation, heard God say that his prophecy is special and will never change. These are very, very important, clear points that we need to have of the authenticity of the faith in defending the truth of the faith. Nowadays, most people don't really want to talk about this. They're like, I'll just read the horoscopes and, we'll go from there. But Pirkei Avos says that this world is compared to a prus door. You know what a prus door is? A prus door, anyone ever been to a nice wedding? Before you get into the big hall, you walk into the entrance. You come, like that's where they're serving like little like hot dog wieners with like in the mustard that's going around, some martinis.
The reception hall.
The reception hall. The reception hall where they come on in, you straighten your tie up a little bit, you go in, it's very pleasant, there's a place to hang your coat, it's nice. But everybody knows that that's not the party, Eventually you get to the end of the reception hall and there's a big set of double doors and you go into those double doors and that's the party. I used to take my wife for dates in the Waldorf. So one of the things that I liked, we had a tremendous appreciation when we got engaged. So we went there to give the manager an invitation to come to the wedding, just say thank you. We were dating here. It was very nice. It was pleasant. They have an area downstairs like a reception hall, but then they have these double doors. The chandeliers inside this is shugana. It's so beautiful. And if whatever the reception hall is just like a taste of what the banquet hall is. So the ethics of our fathers teach us that this world is all the reception hall. Now the biggest problem, the biggest missing the boat would be you get caught up in the reception hall and you got so lost in the reception hall and some guy, juggling in the corner or handing out martinis or playing blackjack in the corner there, that you never went into the party. The party is the world to come. So, ethics of our fathers teach us, get ready in the reception hall in order that you can enter in to the traklin, you can enter into the banquet. And I heard a very nice Haisafa on this, very interesting. No, we think, oh my goodness, I have so much to do. Like this life, 120 years, I better work because I want to go into the banquet hall with what to show for it. So I heard a nice Haisafa from the Rosh Kollel in Philadelphia of Bieberfeld, Shlita. So he said, it's a very interesting thing, the mitzias is, when you get to the banquet, when you get to the reception hall, are you pretty much ready for the party? Yeah, what do you do in the reception hall?
Fix minor details.
Yeah, you fix, minor details, fix your tie, brush off if there's anything, put your gartel, just right. You make it ready to go. You check your teeth or something. Before you even got to the reception hall, you were looking good. You're ready for the party. So he said the same thing. He said when we come down to this world, when our souls come down to this world, and this world, like we said, is the reception hall, we think like we have so much to do, No, your souls are so pure. Your souls are so good. It's like you showed up to the reception hall. You're already dressed up good. Just the last few little touches. The tzaddikim teach us that there are things that will happen to us in this world that are so minute, and it could be the entirety of us coming down to this world to fix those little things. For example, there's certain people who have anger problems. Not huge, but there's something off in that area. And it could be that God sent them down to this world, that they should encounter that person at that time in that place that would exactly push the button that would get on their nerves. And the whole of them coming back was to fix that thing. We don't know what those are. But we have to be basically ready that at any time our tikkunim, the things that we need to fix, are laying themselves before us. So the Shita, the Rambam, famously says, why do we have so many mitzvahs? What's with Taryag mitzvahs? 613. We have a rule that anybody who wants to convert to being a Jew, if they want to, they can. And we know that the world to come is for all of humanity. Whoever came with us I mean believing in the unity of God and the Shev Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, that anyone who wants to come, they can come. But the first thing we say to someone is, why do you want to do all 613 mitzvahs? And there's many more than that. There's 613 categories of mitzvahs. We say just do 7, and that's fine. Why do you need to do so many? Why do we have so many? So the Rambam says, we have so many mitzvahs that maybe one time we hope in your life you're actually going to do one mitzvah totally with the right intentions, completely l'shem shamayim, and that one mitzvah will be your ticket into the world to come. We don't know exactly this thing. If the Arizal was here, he could tell you. He'd say, Jack, at that time, at that place, you're going to meet a man with a donkey, and he's going to hand you an envelope. You're going to have to take that envelope, and there's going to be a person there that's going to really try to get on your nerves, and he's going to offer you 12 golden coins, and you're going to have to refuse it because you're going to know that it was a stolen thing, and he's trying to, and make sure you do it right. We don't have that anymore. We have Itchimayers and Tzimayers, and we have Mikubalim that can give us insights, but we don't have the Arizal. But we have the general rules that every single thing that's happening to us is an opportunity of fixing ourselves up before we go into the world to come. So it behooves us to take the wisdom from the Torah, which was God's guidebook, like Reb Noach Weinberg would always say, that the Torah, what does the word Torah mean? Instruction manual.
Amen.
It's the instructions for living. Instruction manual for living. So who would it make sense to get the instruction manual for living from? I would think so also. I mean, I could get an instruction manual for my new washing machine from just a random guy on the street. Or maybe the manufacturer might know better how the machine works. And all the more so God. God's a little bit more sophisticated than a washing machine manufacturer. Do you understand how sophisticated creation is? I mean, the washing machines are very nice, but it's not. Do you know what the human stomach? You know the acids that are created in the human stomach? The acids that are generated in the human stomach when you eat a piece of fleishik, a piece of meat. Specific acids are created to break down the meat, break down the flesh, draw out the nutrients, and allow the body to digest the meat. But the same acids that break down flesh don't break down your stomach flesh. How does that work? My stomach's also meat. You know what I'm saying? The Creator is so detailed. The way that a human eye works, the way that certain bugs work. What are those movies, Planet Earth? And you see the nifladika, unbelievable details of how this world is designed. It's an unbelievable thing. And you can ask all the big statisticians and the Rabbi Dubovs, they'll tell you that this world should come to be, what's the statistical probability?
I think it's like 1 in several, they did the math, it's like 1 in several quadrillion or quintillion, and it's like there's really not enough time.
What's a couple quintillion, while you're at it? It basically what they would call an impossibility that it should emerge. And everything points logically to a creator, and a creator who's involved in our life. So now that we have that introduction, we're moving through the character traits. We're moving basically through how God creates the world, runs the world, and answers the spheres. And once I know the plan of how the spheres work, then I could know I want to be like God, and I want to create and also run worlds. Now that could be your eternal worlds that you're creating, also worlds called your family, worlds called your business, your relationships. It uses the same sequence of energy. So we explained that the first part of the way that God creates the world is through giving. This unbelievable gift of Olam Chesed Yiboneh, a powerful act of giving, which is why giving is probably the most quintessential godly trait. We're born, see, Myra always speaks about this, we're born like this, our hands are clenched up. You ever seen a baby born? We're a miser. We take everything. Everything's ours. A baby, I one time saw like a onesie. You know what a onesie is? It's like a baby that a little thing snaps at the bottom. So the onesie said, bald, unemployed, and still living at home. It's funny, right? Now why is it? Because you're going to tell this kid to why don't you pull your weight around here? I tell that to my kids sometimes, the ones under 6. But it's obviously just a joke because, what do you want from them? What do you want from them? We're the only mammal that we are totally dependent from the time that we're born. We need to be taken care of. How long does it take a deer to just get up and, bye, Mom? Half an hour. I think for a human it takes us anywhere between 18 and 45 years. Right? It's not bald, unemployed, is still living at home. What's up with that? What is that?
Just good nurturing.
The secret is that we're born as takers, completely takers, and the mission in life is to die as givers. That we went through all of life becoming a bigger and bigger giver, just like God. God is the ultimate giver. Look at this world. It's an endless gift. That's why so many of our mitzvahs are all giving mitzvahs. The amount of mitzvahs that we have of interpersonal mitzvahs, of giving, the amount of mitzvahs we have on giving money to other Jews, to other charity organizations and causes. Nobody gives money. We give money away, tons of money all the time. Insane. Just giving money away. Especially, who knows which day money really? Purim. Purim, millions. Money is just good. Because every other day of the year you can actually do an evaluation and see if the guy is worthy for the gift. Somebody says, can I have money? Okay, I just want to see if this, is this a con artist? That's why we have Gaboy Tzedakah, people that are in charge of money that know, who's legit. But on Purim, you just give. There's no investigations. Just give. Because really the secret of Purim is you think that money is yours. It's not your money. It's my money, says Hashem. I'm just giving it to you on loan to see what you're going to do with it. You thought, yeah, I worked hard for this money. Well, who gave you the energy to work? Who put the thoughts in your brain? Who's letting you think about this right now? God is moving all the neurons. God is beating your heart. Hashem says it's all mine. Li ha-kesef et li ha-zahav ne'um Hashem. It all belongs to Hashem. It's a famous Maisa, I just have to say over because it came from the Abder Rebbe. The Abder Rebbe, the Oiv Yisrael. So there was a Yid that, needed to marry off his daughter. The beginning of every good Chassidish story. And he didn't have enough money. So he went to the Rebbe. What do you do when you have some trouble? Go to the Rebbe. So the Rebbe said, I want you to go, there's a certain Yid in the end of town, on the other side. Ask him to give you all the money, whatever, 1,000 pounds, 1,000 kopecks, and go say that it's money that's from me, from the Rebbe. So this Yid said, first of all, that Jew is the biggest miser. He doesn't give to anybody. You're right, he's the richest person in the whole country, but he doesn't give. Sad. The Rebbe said, you go. And tell him that it's my money. So he travels across town, gets to the Yid's house and says, hi there, my name is Yankel. I'm here to, I'm marrying off my daughter, and we need money, we need 1,000 kopecks. And the Abder Rebbe said that I should get it from you, that he has, that you have his money and you should get. He said, what? I understand the Rebbe is a very holy man, but what does he think? Does he, get out of here, what are you doing here? If you don't leave right now, I'm going to put the dogs on you. And fine. Shortly thereafter, the rich miser starts to lose his money. Things in business start going in the wrong direction. And strangely, the Yid Yankel, who needs to marry off his daughter, money just starts coming to him. Whatever he puts his hand to turns to gold. Everything he invests $1, he gets 100. Things start happening. At this point, obviously, the rich person realizes something happened, and he runs to the Abder Rebbe, and he says, Rebbe, what'd you do to me? He says, I want to tell you something. Before my soul came down to the world, they told me up in heaven, they said, we want to make you very, very rich. Very, very rich. Because there's something important that tzaddikim have a lot of money and they can use the money to build. And I always think, what would Reb Noach Weinberg do? The founder of Eshet Torah with $1 billion. $10 billion. If you think Eshet Torah is big, what would he do? He would build Hashem a kingdom. So, there's such a thing that the tzaddikim should have a lot of money. He said, but in heaven, I told heaven that I was very, very afraid that I might not use it properly. People think that poverty is a bigger test. Being rich is a very big test, because the question is, how are you using the money? Are you really using it properly? So heaven said, but the money is decreed to you. It has to go to you. So either we're giving it to you or we have to figure something out. So the Abder Rebbe said, why don't you put it as a pikodon, put it as collateral by somebody else, and as long as he uses it, it's fine, he can hold on to it, but if I ever need it back, I could get it. So he told this Yid, he said, you should know, that was you. My fortune went to you. And as long as you were using it, but if I ever made a request, which I did, and you didn't acquiesce to that, then the money would have to come back to where I would want it to go to. And this Yid said, I'm so sorry, Rebbe, please. And the Yid did a full tshuva, and he got back enough that he was comfortable and became a big chassid of the Rebbe. So we think it all belongs to us. It's all pikodon. By the way, our children are the same thing. God says, I'm giving you these children. Take care of them. They're yours for safekeeping. They're really mine. They're guardians to bring them into the world, to help them do mitzvahs. By the way, our bodies are the same thing. You think this body is mine? Like they say, it's on loan. I'm going to have to give this back. I'm going to have to explain to Hashem the things that I did with this body, with my neshama. Hashem says, neshama shenosata bi tahirati, atavirasa, tayitzarta, tanafachta bi, v'atash mishamra bikirbi, v'ata osi litna mimeni, lachzira bi le'asi love it. This neshama inside of me, I'm going to give it back to you. You're gonna ask me, so how did you use it in this world? The number one thing that we want to start the conversation with, and this is as we're going through the spheres, is Hashem, my whole life I became a giver. I plugged into that energy of chesed, of giving. I became a giver just like you're a giver, Hashem. Tomorrow we'll speak more about going and how to use that giving in the right way. Then speak about some of the other midos, and I want to start moving towards each week of the Sphira, because now we're in Netzach, but I wanted to have all these introductions, and then we could focus more on Netzach, and then Hoy, the Yesod, Malchus. There's like major things happening right now. We should be Zoycha Mamish to tap into the power of giving, and give Hashem a lot of nachas. Amen. Have a wonderful day. Kol Tov.